Good morning, friends. It is a beautiful rainy fall day here on the farm. So my original plans have shifted a little bit, but I think it works out great because we are coming off of a busy weekend. We had a soccer game for June. Peyton had volleyball tournament. We took the kids hiking yesterday, and so I need to tend to the home. Usually I have been doing so well at keeping the house clean. I've been getting up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, coming through, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the living room, getting everything kind of, as you would put the house to bed. I've been kind of putting the house to rest in the morning before kids wake up, Nathan wakes up, and we have like the hustle and bustle of the day. But that did not get done, and that is okay. So I'm going to take you guys along with me as we enjoy this beautiful rainy fall day. We're going to start by making some tea because it's just the perfect day for that. The windows are open. There's a nice little breeze coming in. I want something warm. We're going to start by feeding Otis our sourdough starter. I've got lots of baking this week we're going to be doing. And yeah, just hanging out with me for this rainy, beautiful fall day. So I have still been drinking my red raspberry leaf tea. You guys know this was a staple for me in the really later part of my pregnancy. I would say 3rd trimester on. I was drinking multiple cups a day. I kind of swear this is what put me into labor. I made a really steep glass of this, drank half gallon maybe, and when your body's kind of ready, if it is really ready, this will be a good little boost. And I've been joking with Nathan that I'm pretty sure this is what made me go into labor, but it's actually really great postpartum as well. It's good to balance your hormones, which is kind of what I'm drinking it for right now. It's really good to just help tighten your uterus back up after pregnancy. So I drank this religiously right after I gave birth to Ziggy. And so it's just really good for your overall hormone health, even if you're not pregnant, but especially when you're pregnant, especially postpartum, it's good just for your gut health, digestion. So I am still on the train of making this every day. I'm drinking it about once a day, whether that's in the morning or in the evening. But it has been nice just to kind of keep this in my routine of what I am consuming, and I do feel a lot better. So we've got lots of baking this week while my kettle is warming up. I'm actually going to go ahead and start feeding Otis. I've got some discard pumpkin muffins we're going to be making in a later video this week. So I've got some discard stuff, trying to still use up a lot of the discard from all those extra starters I made a couple weeks back when we were filming our sourdough course. But just need some sandwich loaves for the week, some different things for, rolls to go with dinner, things like that. So I'm trying to get ahead of that on Monday, which is when I'm shooting this for you guys. So we're going to feed our starter. We just woke up from our morning nap, huh, Ziggy? Yeah? Now you're going to get in the kitchen with Mama? You're going to get in the kitchen with Mama? Yeah. Another way that I usually always support myself postpartum, and some of you guys might be familiar with this, some of you may not, and that is encapsulating your placenta. There's a lot of study. There's a lot of studies and research that just shows that that's really good and supportive for moms postpartum. I've done this I did it with June, planned on doing it with Ziggy, but unfortunately, Okay. But unfortunately, when I was taking, so you kind of take a high dosage in the beginning. So you're taking your pill multiple times a day, and then it kind of tampers off. But I was having really bad headaches, and I was talking to my midwife, like migraine, something I've never had. My nutrition was really on point. I was staying super hydrated, drinking still over 100 ounces a day. And we came to the conclusion that because my hormones weren't super in balance, because I was really diligent with that in my pregnancy of just eating nutrient-dense foods, just making sure my body stayed balanced throughout my pregnancy, we realized that I really didn't have any deficiency. There wasn't a lot of gaps where that placenta would do really good filling those gaps. And so I was getting too much of a good thing, essentially. And so I ended up and I stopped taking my placenta, and within 24 hours the headaches stopped, which was crazy, but good to know, right, that I did everything to nourish myself beforehand, where I really didn't need that. Postpartum now, if I have days where I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or maybe just sad for no reason, right, some of just the postpartum things we deal with, I'll still take a pill to just kind of help balance out, but certainly not something I feel like I need regularly, which that's just so great. It's just, I'm so thankful to have Nathan home and just have the support that I have here. I think that plays a huge role in just how I have felt postpartum. Just having him always here, right? Like, I'm not here by myself. I've got someone to always talk to share the workload with. And that's just been really sweet and really special. But I've still really been enjoying the teas, eating a really nutrient-dense diet, very protein heavy still, just because that's where I feel the best. And something I'm going to be including in this week that was recommended to me was a bone broth protein. Now, we have got meat birds coming soon. We're going to be sharing that whole process with you guys. Pretty much like a nose-to-tail approach, right? Like how we are raising them, but also how we are utilizing every bit of them. And a big emphasis of that is going to be on broth. But until then, I just purchased a really high-quality bone broth protein, which I'm excited. We'll make some today in this video. But Ziggy's back asleep. The kettle's going off. So let's get our tea steeping, and then we will start feeding our starters. Because it is a busy baking week, I'm going to probably go ahead and feed 2 starters just so that I have enough between the discard and some of the active recipes. I know we're going to make rolls. I'm going to make pumpkin muffins for the girls, which we made this weekend with some strudel on top. So good. I actually have some leftover strudel, which is why I'm wanting to make that recipe to use that up. And probably a few other things like an artisan loaf, just some fun things. I'm wanting to make some pitas. That'll probably be in another video for you guys, but in the meantime, let's get our stuff steeping. It's okay. I'll just voice over.
Can you turn on?
Sure. Trying to feed all of our stuff for the week. If you bring me that green wrap, I'll put him on.
lightly fry a pita, like once it's cooked, lightly fry it, and turn it into a. Probably shave some. Still frozen.
No, that's fine. All right. So this week specifically, what did you have on your list?
Well, since it's raining, I'm limited. Besides ripping out some of the dead stuff in the food tunnel, and replanting.
Kohlrabi, which will just direct seed. I want to say these are bush beans. Yeah, so provider bush beans. These are bush beans. We'll plant those where we had the bush beans before.
Okay. You just want to do half the bed with one and half.
Sure.
Okay.
This needs to go planted out there, wherever.
What is that?
Acorn squash. We'll plant out, and then these. You said you didn't have enough. So
I may start these in 2.5-inch cups
why?
until I have room.
But not all those came up out there. Remember?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I mean, I have like 1 or 2 mounds,
Okay.
but I can pull that part back that's been over the sunflowers and prep that if I.
And I was gonna plant these two with the beans too, so I figured we'd do in that one bed on the left, kohlrabi, kale, beans at the end. The other side, we would do our carrots, plant some more radishes and beets. The girls want to help plant with that. Those will go outside. You plant your brassicas wherever they are, and then this week I want to go. So the 4 beds will be our Brussels sprouts, our yeah, so I'd still like enough Chinese cabbage, so that's like going just to the, I think Plant Outlet will have it. They usually have a better selection in the co-op, and it's like late September now. So Nate and I just got done chatting over breakfast, which is something we have been trying to be more diligent about. We'll sit down over coffee or tea when we're eating breakfast and figure out what are our priorities for the week. So we like to do this at the beginning of the week. Oh. I hear a baby. One moment. Did you just wake up? Did you just wake up? Yeah, I know it. Did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? Yeah, come here. Come here. I know it. Uh-oh. So something Nate and I have been trying to be super diligent about in the mornings, specifically on Monday mornings, while we're eating breakfast, drinking our coffee or our tea, is figuring out what is the plan for the week. Like, what are the things that I need to do that require a lot of my attention? What are the things he needs to do that require a lot of his attention? And really just kind of get on the same page at the beginning of the week. We've found that's very helpful. We get asked all the time, how do y'all work with each other? How are you around each other 24/7 and like love each other? And the truth is, it's just because we set out those expectations of like, this is what I need from you this week so that I can do X, Y, and Z, and vice versa. And so this week, you guys just saw we sat down over breakfast and chatted about like, what do we need to do? And the truth is, we have got to get summer crops out of the high tunnel. We are so behind. And we're just trying to give ourselves grace. I mean, obviously we just had a baby. And so I knew this season wasn't going to be as productive for us. I knew I wasn't going to be as rigid with the garden just because my time has been here. Nathan and I actually calculated up. I spend over 12 hours a day just nursing him. And so that's a lot of my time and attention right now, and I'm just giving myself grace. But we do have to get the summer things out, and so that is a big thing this week. Nathan's going to be going out into the high tunnel today, harvesting the last of our tomatoes. We're finally ripping them out. We have to plant if we're gonna, yield anything. And granted, we do grow food year round, but as it starts to get colder, those crops are going to take longer to mature. And we certainly won't be able to get multiple successions like what we're used to. And some of the things we're still trying to get in a round of these things before the frost comes. So we've got our second round of cucumbers in right now. We're wanting to get in a round of green beans because we just didn't do enough this summer in our opinion. So those things we are kind of on a time crunch for because the frost will kill those. So that's one of Nathan's, big tasks for the week. Cleaning out the high tunnel, amending it so that I can go in and plant it. And I'm going to be sharing a fun update with you guys, kind of a life update for us. But the girls really wanted to be involved in the garden, which you guys know I totally welcome. And so what we've decided that the girls can do is that they can each pick something to grow this fall. We'll do this again in the spring and again in the summer. And so essentially they're choosing what they want to grow. They are planting it. They are tending to it, so they're gonna have to set up a schedule to cultivate it and to check on pests and all sorts of stuff like that. And then it will also be their responsibility to harvest it. June, obviously, with the help of me, if it's something that requires any sort of sharp knife. I'm pretty sure she chose broccoli. That's her favorite vegetable to eat. So, of course, she wanted to grow that, see that whole process through. But then it's also going to be their responsibility to bring it in the house and either cook it, prepare it, or help with preserving it. So Charlie chose carrots and beets. These are her favorite things to ferment and eat raw. So her task this week is going to be planting these with my help, and then she'll be, bringing them in and fermenting them later in the season, which will be fun. June's will be broccoli, but we need to get some of our different kales out. Again, like I mentioned, the beans definitely need to make their way out. And then we just did not grow enough kohlrabi. This is actually so days to maturity, 35. That's crazy. This is the quick star variety. I actually placed this order from Haas Tools. Usually I order a lot of my stuff from Johnny's, but I grow these Viper carrots from Haas Tools every year, specifically for Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. I will do a honey roasted carrot with thyme, and these are just the perfect carrot to do that too, because you can leave them whole. They're long and slender. They're perfect, just like to stick the whole thing in your mouth. So while I was ordering these, I just went ahead and ordered a bunch of other stuff. So we got some beets for Charlie. We did just the dino kale and then a pretty scarlet kale that will be nice in just different soups and things. That's really fun. I don't ever try to push my passions on my kids, and they actually have passions quite different than me. Charlie is obsessed with gymnastics. She's so dedicated to it, and I never played sports as a kid, so I didn't really understand that. And so I try to just be very open and let my kids pursue the things that they want to pursue. June's always been more of the farm girl. She's always with Nathan feeding animals. But when Charlie asked me if she could have a garden, I was like, absolutely. And so I offered the idea to June if she wanted to, take care of her own plant, be able to bring it inside and do something with it. And she loved that. So that just filled my little mama heart. And I'm so glad that they want to do this. Sometimes when you live on a farm, it doesn't seem as cool, right? Versus when your friends come over and they think your life is so cool. But when you're doing it day to day and they have some of those chores, it's just not fun to go feed the pigs with Dad. And so that just really warmed my heart that they wanted to participate and take action in the garden and see that through, right? And so, I don't know, it was just a proud mama moment. But let's put Ziggy down for a nap and let's clean this kitchen. So the next part of this video, I was sitting down in the kitchen chatting with you guys about some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies I'm making for the girls. Nathan and I were having great conversation. I don't even know what all we were talking about, to be truthful, but when I sat down to edit this video like I'm doing right now, I realized I apparently never turned the microphone on. So we're just going to hop in whenever I notice that that didn't happen. But just to kind of brief you guys on what we're going to be doing next in this video, we're going to be making pumpkin chocolate chip cookies for the girls. And I can already tell you, because I've had one, they're absolutely delightful. So let's get back to it. Oh, I've always been the baker in the family, and really in the winter, I'm cooking a lot more. I love cooking like soups and stews and chilies and
Casseroles.
crock-pot meals, all the things. It's just it's a slower time on the farm, so I always find myself in the kitchen more in the fall and the winter, but now even more to where I'm trying to have, homemade things at least once a week for the girls. They love that, being able to just come in and smell fresh baked goods. So I'm going to make these chewy pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. I'll leave the recipe down for you below. I got it off of Pinterest from Sally's Baking Addiction. It had a lot of pins, had really good reviews. I'd love to know, though, what are you guys baking this week? Are you already in the fall mood? Because I feel like I've done tapped the first, 60-degree morning, I started embracing fall. This video is going to be titled something about fall, because that's how much I've embraced this season.
The flannels came out.
So it turns out once I realized that my microphone was off and I turned it back on, it just decided to die. So we're just going to roll with it on this Monday morning. But I'm just gathering ingredients to make these. I will have the recipe linked down below from where I got this off of Pinterest. I will tell you they tasted really great. They were super simple and easy to make as well. So if you're looking for a fun little treat to make for your family or your kiddos, I highly recommend this one. Now that I've got the dough mixed, I'm going to pop it in the fridge for about 30 minutes, which is perfect. I love recipes that call for a rest or a chill time, because one of the things I've been trying to be way more diligent about is cleaning as I'm going. So while this is in the fridge cooling, I'm going to clean up my mess, wash the dishes. By the time I get done doing that, we'll be ready to start rolling these out and baking them. So kind of works out perfect. All right, we've got about 5 more minutes left on the dough chilling. So I went ahead and just prepped my baking sheet with parchment paper. I've got just a spoon out here. I'm gonna use the spoon to not only scoop them out, but also to kind of flatten the tops. All right, friends, I'm about to nurse my sweet Ziggy, make that breakfast casserole, and get on editing this video for you guys. But if you missed it, you only have 2 days left to grab the Homestead Bundle. I mentioned this in a previous vlog. Over 100 of us homesteaders came together. We have 104 resources, whether that's an ebook, a guide, or a course, almost valued at $5,000 for $50, but that offer ends in 2 days. So if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, just check out the description down below. You can see all the information there. But thanks for hanging out with me on this rainy fall day as we were in the kitchen baking up some things. But I'll talk to y'all soon.